Hockey here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Flyers 4 points on top in their division over the New York Islanders. The St. Louis Blues just 2 points ahead of second place Chicago in the Smythe division, although the Blues have played 2 less games. And now with the play-by-play description, here's Marv Albert.
Thank you, Dan. Larry Patey opening up at center against Bobby Clark. The Blues with Bob McMillan on the left, Claude LaRose on the right. Bob Gassoff and Rod Sealing on the back line. Bobby Clark opening with Bob Kelly and a rookie by the name of Alan Hill wearing number 37. That's Patey slapping one. Patey is checked to the boards by DuPont. And Terry Murray moves it back behind the Philadelphia net. He's watched by the forechecking McMillan. Up for Clark, and Clark shoots it ahead. Lead pass for Hill as he entangles with LaRose, but a whistle, that pass across 2 lines, and we get a whistle for the offside.
Number 37, as you mentioned, Marv, starting out on left wing is Al Hill. He is up from the Flyers Springfield Farm Club in the American Hockey League, a first-year pro. 6'1", 175 pounds, played his junior hockey in Victoria and was a teammate of Mel Bridgman.
And Bob Kelly on the right wing was not supposed to play tonight because of the strep throat, but he's in the starting lineup. All right, the Blues able to clear out of the zone. Murray off for Kelly. Kelly, number 9, being checked by Gassoff. The lead for Hill. Hill drives one. Score! Al Hill on his first shot of the National Hockey League has scored a goal, and the Flyers lead it 1-0.
That's what you call an auspicious debut. Al Hill, who was recommended to the Flyers by Mel Bridgman. He wasn't even drafted. And in his first NHL game, his first shift of the game, walked in on left wing and got one behind Yves Belanger. Hill really didn't get good wood on the shot. It was more like a knuckleball type shot and fooled Belanger. And the Flyers have a 1-0 lead.
Number 9, Bob Kelly.
Last Monday night of a Flyer victory over Atlanta on the Monday night game of the week. Drew Callender in his first NHL game for the Flyers scored a goal. Bob Plager controls off the faceoff. Plager, number 5, throws it in. The St. Louis Blues have their kid line on right now. Fedorko working back behind the goal. As Dan mentioned at the start, led the Central League in scoring at Kansas City before being called up by Emil Francis. Now the Flyers' Daly shoots it ahead. Pass on the right wing intended for Selesky. Kindrachuk now across the line. Feeds Selesky. He tries to throw in front and changed his mind, and it trickled, as you saw, off the goal post and covered up by Belanger. The scoring on that Hill goal, Kelly picks up the assist at the 36-second mark.
You know, they were telling me this Al Hill was not drafted by anyone in the National Hockey League. And Mel Bridgman, who played his junior hockey with Victoria, recommended to the Flyers that they give him a tryout. He is in his first year of pro hockey, has been in Springfield in the American League. What a thrill for that young man in his first game in the NHL, first shift to get a goal.
I'm sure that a good part of the crowd here had no idea who number 37 was. All right, on the face-off, the Blues clear it out of the zone. St. Louis going with an all-former New York Ranger line right now. Jerry Butler, number 17, is hit by Watson as he gets it out of the zone, and the crowd reacts to that hard hit. This is Ted Irvin, another former Ranger, number 27. Irvin leads Berenson. Berenson shoots, and it's knocked aside by Stevenson. Berenson tries to center. It comes to Sealing at the right point, and he sends back behind the goal. Number 14 is Joe Watson, checked by Butler, throws it ahead for Lunsbury. Russ Lunsbury, number 18, the lead, but the whistle for an offside with Dornhofer ahead of the play, and so it is whistle dead, and we'll get a face-off.
Well, Al Hill, as Drew Callender did in his debut last week in his first NHL game, first shift got a goal, so does Al Hill. That one right between Belanger's pads. And as I mentioned, when Hill went to slap it, he didn't get all of the puck, and it was more like an off-speed shot, and it fooled Belanger, and the Flyers have a 1-0 lead. Hill, by the way, is playing because of injuries to people like Paul Holmgren of Philadelphia, who's out with a shoulder separation, and Big Harvey Bennett, who's out with a bruised shoulder.
Now Bobby Clark on the face-off, controlled by the Blues. DuPont rolls it around, takes a return back behind the goal. Now here's Moose DuPont rushing it up. DuPont, as you hear the reaction from the crowd, flicks in. It is gloved by Belanger, decides to hold on with Bridgman and Clark moving on the doorstep. Our statistician, Jeff Shermack, has come up with the fact, Dan, that the fastest goal ever by a rookie in the National Hockey League was 15 seconds into a game back in October of 1943. Gus Bodner of Toronto did it. Hill goes 36 seconds in. Clark has it stick checked away. Patey able to break it up. And Murray is back for it. Murray and DuPont on the back line. Clark is the center now with Bridgman and Leach. This is Murray. Leading Clark, breaking in. Clark, with the extra deep, could not get the shot off. Now Leach tries to set up. Clark gets to it. Clark hit by Plager. Flyers lead it by the score of 1-0. We're early first period. Belanger clears it around. Number 6, Patey of St. Louis, winds to the far boards. Kept in by Murray of the Flyers. This is Leach. Leach sets up Clark in the slot. Has Bridgman in front, but it's broken up by the skates of Plager, and he clears it out. DuPont chases down. He's checked by LaRose. Throws it ahead. Gary Unger playing in a 700th consecutive National Hockey League game on ice for the first time. Offside whistle, and they'll bring it back. Face-off coming up outside the Philadelphia blue line. But there's a break in the action now with the score. The Flyers 1, the Blues nothing. Marv Albert, Dan Kelly from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The Flyers off to a 1-0 lead. Both clubs have made line changes. Unger shoots to the Philadelphia line. That's the big defenseman, Bob Daly, slapping one that is wide. Plunk comes over with Kindrachuk. That's Kindrachuk controlling the backhander. Is stopped and gloved by Belanger.
Well, that's a couple of other chances the Flyers have had to score on Belanger, aside from that goal by Hill. And that time, Belanger went down, but got a good bounce of the puck on the shot and was able to grab it and hold on. These Philadelphia Flyers very tough on home ice, and they're off to a fast start again tonight.
Kindrachuk on for Philadelphia. Selesky on the right wing. Bobber on the left. Jim Watson, Bob Daly are back as the Blues move it out. Leftley leading Unger. Unger across the line is taken down by the combination of Watson and Bobber. Now Daly rolls it around. Selesky can't handle. Gassoff does. His slap goes wide. It bounds to the near board. Sealing able to keep. No, he's not. Loses control and then sends back to his line mate Gassoff, and he shoots down. Played off the boards by Watson. Now Watson throws ahead. Kindrachuk leading the left wing Bobber. Bobber moving on Sealing across the St. Louis line. Tries to feed Selesky. Now Unger with it. Gary Unger, number 7, off to Rod Sealing, number 10. And Sealing bounces it in. 4 minutes in, first period. And the Flyers on the goal by the rookie Al Hill lead it 1-0. Selesky rolls it for Lunsbury. He's checked by Fedorko. Lunsbury moves it back behind the Flyer net. Now the Flyers move it up. Here's Blake. As the Flyers change on the go, Watson tries to lead Lunsbury. Bourbonnais shoots it cross ice. This is the kid line being used now by Emil Francis, Sutter, Bourbonnais, and Fedorko. Fedorko is the center. Plager tries to lead Fedorko. The pass too deep. Watson chases down. Watson takes a check from Bourbonnais as he gets it around the boards, but it slipped back the other way. Watson, number 14, eludes the check of Bourbonnais. Sent around by Blake, and a chase for it. Number 4 is Affleck, and we get a whistle on the play. Offside, and a face-off upcoming.
The 1976 Stanley Cup Championship highlight film is available for viewing by organizations, church groups, and schools. Any request should be sent on official letterhead to your local NHL club or to 2 Penn Plaza, Suite 2480, New York, New York, 10001. This film must be returned after its use.
Joe Watson of the Flyers looping it in to the left side of the St. Louis goal. That's Fedorko, number 24. Now being checked by McLeish. Fedorko still controls and starts up. He has Bourbonnais on the right. Bourbonnais, number 28, with a shot that is stopped by Stevenson. Blake now looks to set up. Watched by Fedorko. Cross ice for Watson. Watson throws ahead. Intercepted by Affleck and controlled by the Blues, but Sutter loses to Blake. Now Blake making the move. Drop pass for Dornhofer. He's checked. Sutter comes up with it, but a penalty upcoming. Penalty upcoming against the Blues. There's a break in the action. The score, the Flyers 1, the St. Louis Blues nothing.
Oh, Bruce Affleck, number 4 of the Blues, called for holding as he grabbed a hold of the Flyer player. Affleck, who doesn't get that many penalties, goes to the box. That's only his 7th minor penalty of the season, and we'll have a look at the Flyer power play in action.
Time of the penalty, 5:28. Flyers not able to keep it in. That's Daly chasing. Berenson all over him. Flyers not able to set up. Clark back at his line. Play very tight by Berenson. Up ahead now for Daly. Daly for Bobber. Bill Bobber, number 7, off to Bridgman. Bridgman looks to lead Clark, but he was offside. Butler takes Bridgman to the boards. Bobber cross ice for Daly. Now Daly shoots it in. Minute and a half remaining now on the St. Louis penalty. Daly takes at the point for Bobber. Bobber in close, intended for Bridgman. And again, the Red Berenson clears it out. But it's a two-line pass, and so they bring it back. Face-off coming up inside the St. Louis line.
Philadelphia on the power play have scored a total of 39 power play goals this season. That's a percentage of 23.2% every time they have the man advantage. Blues are already trailing in the game 1-0, and Philadelphia with a big opportunity here. Bruce Affleck with a minute 21 left in his penalty.
Philadelphia Flyers going into tonight 4 points in front of the second-place New York Islanders. That's Leach setting up, has Bridgman in front, rolls it around. Butler of St. Louis gets to it and is able to clear it out of the zone. A minute 5 remaining now on the St. Louis penalty. Clark, number 16, leads Leach. Leach checked by Gasson. Now Silling tries to clear out, cannot. Taken by Berenson, and he clears. Stevenson, the goaltender, stops. Fred Shiro makes changes on the fly. McLeish and Dornhofer step on. 45 seconds remaining in the St. Louis penalty. Crowd urging the Flyers on. They lead it here by the score of 1-0 with 7 minutes gone by. First period. That pass broken up nicely by Patey, and looking to clear, sends to the crowd.
I mentioned the Flyers and how tough they are on home ice. So far this season, they've won 24, lost only 3, and tied 1. Their losses on home ice: twice to the Montreal Canadiens, once to the New York Islanders. And as we mentioned at the outset of the broadcast, the Blues haven't won here since January of '72. So they've gone 13 games in a row at Philadelphia without a victory. 12 losses and a tie.
Now Sealing rams it around, but it's kept in by Bladen. Throws to Dornhofer, checked by Gasson. Back to the point for Bladen. Bladen to McLeish. His backhander blocked by Sealing, and Gasson can't clear, but it is cleared by Patey. 15 seconds remaining on the St. Louis penalty. Tight checking by LaRose. DuPont throws it away. Patey on the intercept. Back for LaRose, number 12. LaRose loses control. This is Gasson, stopped by Stevenson. DuPont with the rebound. That does it for the penalty as Bruce Affleck returns. Now DuPont checked by LaRose, sends for Lunsbury. Lunsbury moving on the left wing, moving on Sealing. Lunsbury cut off by Sealing, and then Plager able to tip it to the corner. Lunsbury hanging right in, checked by Plager again. This is Patey, number 6. He's stopped by Joe Watson. Watson digging along with LaRose. Back behind the goal now for Lunsbury. Hit down by Sealing. Fans want a penalty, not called. Bob McMillan starts up. The lead for Patey has LaRose on the right. The pass for LaRose. He shoots going for the far corner, and it's wide. Dornhofer gets to it and taps it ahead. Now the Flyers break. McLeish loses control, and Plager rolls it back. Dornhofer takes. Back pass now for Murray. Murray and Joe Watson on the back line. Kelly, McLeish, Dornhofer up front. McMillan forechecking well. McMillan able to take it away as he slammed to the boards by Kelly. That's Kindrachuk now winding around. Pierre Plante almost with the steal. Kindrachuk checked by Patey, and this is Watson rescuing. Watson checked tightly by McMillan. Tremendous forechecking by the Blues. The setup for Patey, broken up by Watson, who rolls it for Kelly. Now Kelly ahead. The Flyers finally get it out of the zone. Flyers lead it 1-0 on the go by the rookie Al Hill. The steal by Kelly. Kelly shoots. Save is made. Beautiful save by Belanger. Kept in though by Selesky. Chased down by Kindrachuk. He and Plager come together. Now Plante ahead for Unger. Has McMillan left. It's a 3-man rush. 2 Flyers back. Here's Unger feeding Plante. The off-angle shot goes off the glass and rolls out of the zone. And it's chased all the way down by Gasson. 10 minutes and 50 seconds remaining first period. Flyers 1. Blues nothing. Flyers change on the go. That's the big guy. 6'5" defenseman Bob Daly working his way in. Blues having difficulty getting out now. All right, Gasson checked by Bridgman up for Unger. Unger across the St. Louis line. Again with Plante on the right. The right wing feed, but it's a whistle for an offside. And there's another break in the action with the score. The Flyers 1 and the Blues nothing.
Each team in the game has had 4 shots on goal, but the Flyers' shots have been much tougher as Bob Kelly only moments ago broke in alone on Belanger, who made a sprawling save and was able to clear the rebound away. I thought that sign was for me when I came in, and then I realized Bob Kelly lived in Philadelphia.
The Hound, very popular here in the Philadelphia area. Not supposed to play tonight because of a strep throat. Ends up starting the game, ends up assisting on the game's first goal. Flyers lead it 1-0. Here's Clark. Clark working now with Bridgman and Leach. Clark checked on the play by Bourbonnais, sealing over to tie it up along with Clark and the rookie Bourbonnais. That's Rick Bourbonnais up from Kansas City, a 4th-round draft pick back in 1975. Dan played 7 games with St. Louis a year ago.
This is the kind of confidence Emil Francis has in this kid line. Federico, Bourbonnais, and Sutter. They're out right now against Philadelphia's Clark, Bridgman, and Reggie Leach line. That's what you call a baptism of fire to the NHL.
Sealing and Gassoff are back as Sealing winds it around. Number 3, Gassoff is checked by Leach as he tries to clear it out. Has difficulty. Daly tries to set up Leach, but Sealing able to poke it away. Now for Durko, hit by Watson. Gassoff throws ahead. This is Sutter on the left wing, up ahead, but Daly sent back the other way. Clark and Sutter come together, allowing Leach to get to it. Leach tries to work his way in. Bourbonnais breaks it up. Now Sutter with Federico. Federico, number 24. Federico moving on Watson. The screen shot is stopped by Stevenson as Daly slams Federico to Stevenson. And we have
Sutter in the middle of it. He's a scrappy little guy, Marv. I think Daly is a little bit upset. Sutter ran into the goaltender, Stevenson. Federico, a good playmaker. This time elected to shoot. Stevenson made the save, and Sutter, the left winger, came charging in, although he was directed by the big defenseman Daly, and ran into Stevenson, and that almost caused a little bit of problem. Good save by Wayne Stevenson, a body save on the shot by Federico, and then Daly and Sutter running into the goaltender and the goal itself.
Linesman Matt Pavlich drops it, face off deep in the Philadelphia Flyer end. It is controlled by Irvin of St. Louis. Backhander wide. Butler plays it center. Score! Red Berenson off the feed from Butler, and the Blues have tied it at 1.
Very nice play by Butler. Berenson, standing at the edge of the crease, just had to tip it in. As from the face-off, the Blues got it to Jerry Butler off to one side of the net, backhanding it in front, and Berenson was there to just deflect it behind Wayne Stevenson.
St. Louis goals.
The Blues tie it on the goal by Berenson.
The assist, number 17.
Face off between Berenson
number 27,
and McLean. So we are tied at 1-1. The lead for Butler behind them. Tried to change direction, but could not. The result, an icing infraction against St. Louis. Berenson with goal number 14 on the season. As you look at St. Louis coach and general manager Emil Francis, Butler and Irvin picked up the assists at 10:38.
For Berenson, that's his 14th goal of the year. Got off to a pretty good start. Just ended a 10-game scoring slump with a goal on Saturday night, and now scores again here.
Shot by Blayton is blocked. McLeish cannot tee it up as Berenson, using his muscle, is able to get it away, and it's cleared out of the zone by Hess. Now Irvin with the back pass for Affleck. For Butler, number 17, up to the Philadelphia line. Intercepted by Blayton. Ahead now for McLeish. 8:45 remaining. First period. Flyers and Blues tied at 1-1. McLeish hit pretty good by Affleck. Again, fans looking for something. Irvin starts up. Irvin is up to the Philadelphia line. His shot is wide. Long rebound for Dornhofer. And Dornhofer moves it down. Throws in right side. Another tricky hopper. And Belanger cannot clear it away, allowing McLeish to put it home. Took a strange hop off the board.
Crazy hopping puck. Belanger was unable to control it. McLeish let the shot go. The rookie Hill was there. I don't know whether he was the last man to poke it in or not, and the Flyers have a 2-1 lead. Belanger unable to play that puck. McLeish came in, poked at it, and whether number 37 Hill was the last man to touch it or not, I'm not sure. No, McLeish gets the goal. Here's another look from a different angle. Belanger unable to play the puck. And Rick McLeish, who's a pretty good goal scorer, will never get an easier one than that.
Shooting it to virtually an empty net with Belanger spraying for that tricky hop rebound. Flyers now lead it 2-1. And the Flyers shoot it in. This is Gassoff taking from the goaltender. Being checked by Kindrachuk, throws it out of the zone. McLeish, number 34, from Dornhofer at 11:33. Now McMillan. The lead for LaRose off his stick. LaRose able to chase it down, centers, but it's broken up by DuPont. Winds it around the boards. Now Selesky with the lead pass, 2-on-1, develops his Kindrachuk with Barber. Kindrachuk stopped by Belanger. Not able to hold on, though. That puck is loose. Centered by Kindrachuk, but could not be handled. And it carries all the way down. 7 score of 2-1. This is the Monday night National Hockey League game of the week. Marv Albert working along with Dan Kelly, the voice of the St. Louis Blues. Again, you hear the reaction. They thought Kindrachuk was taken down, but no penalty is called by Bruce Hood. Now the Flyers change on the move. Gassoff up ahead for McMillan. McMillan works his way and throws in. Played off the boards by Bridgman of the Flyers. Bridgman, met by the forechecking Plonk, gives off for Clark. Clark checked by Patey. Throws ahead and Daly rushes it up. Right wing pass for Leaf. Long drive. Love save up high made by Belanger. Now Clark centers. Shot wide. Taken by Jimmy Watson. Daly fans on it. Lefley got a piece of it. Blues having trouble clearing out of the zone. Bridgman able to keep in. Number 4, Affleck, along with Lefley. But the Flyers again able to get to it, and now we have a penalty upcoming. A tripping penalty against the Blues, and look out, Bobby Clark and Bruce Affleck with the sticks up high.
Well, the Blues were going to get a penalty on the play anyway. Philadelphia with a 2-1 lead, and they almost broke things out here in behind that St. Louis goal, but order appears to be restored. There's a break in the action with the score. Philadelphia 2, St. Louis 1. Well, Bob Plager, the Blues veteran defenseman, goes to the penalty box, and puck was in behind the Blues goal. They ruled it Bob Plager. Very smart hockey player. Thought he could get away with upending the Flyer player with a stick at the side of the net, but he was caught by referee Bruce Hood, and St. Louis trailing 2-1. Now will face the Flyer power play.
Tripping on Plager, 13:26. And the Flyers again with the man advantage. That's Barber. And Blake with the drive. It's wide. On the rebound, Barber able to keep in. Loses to Berenson, and Berenson clears it all the way down. 6 minutes, 20 seconds remaining. First period. And the Flyers lead the Blues by the score of 2-1. Philadelphia with the man advantage. And they regroup on the power play. McLeish down the left side. McLeish across the St. Louis line. McLeish checked by Sealing, rolls it for Daly. Out it goes to the point to Blake. Checked by Butler, throws behind the goal. Now McLeish with Daly camped in front. A tough man to budge. Knocked around the boards by Gassoff, and it rolls away from Blake. Here's Butler chasing down with Barber back. Butler cuts in. The backhander is wide as he is slammed to the boards. He could not put the brakes on, but he's all right. Gets up, skates back. Now he's headed off the ice. McLeish for the Flyers. McLeish to the St. Louis line. Fast play broken up by LaRose, and he's able to clear. Just under a minute remaining now on the Bob Plager penalty as both teams change on the fly. Daly fakes the slap, trying to cut around Gassoff, but Gassoff able to stick check it away and clear it out of the zone. DuPont, number 6. Stopped by Sealing. Now Patey with LaRose. Broken up by Lunsbury, getting back. Try to hit Dornhofer, pass off the mark. Dornhofer, number 12, rolls it around. Flyers cannot get going on this power play. Kindrachuk with 28 seconds remaining on the penalty. Back for DuPont. That puck taking tricky hops. All right, here's DuPont now. Throwing in. The goaltender Belanger lets it go, and Gassoff tries to clear, but rams to the crowd, and so play is called.
The National Hockey League Network would like to thank its viewers for writing into the stations across the country which are carrying these Monday night games of the week. Also, the NHL Network would like to salute all attending the annual National Association of Television Programming Executives Convention at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami Beach. This broadcast is being brought to them by our local affiliate in the Miami area or through a special feed in the hotel. So we welcome those people and all the folks along the National Hockey League Monday Night Network.
All right, Dan, 13 seconds remaining on the St. Louis penalty. Patey and Bridgman on the face deep in the blue end. That's Murray feeding off for DuPont. His screen drive is wide. Bridgman gets it off to Kelly. Kelly is bottled up, and it's cleared around by LaRose. Kept in, though, and Kelly fires wide as the penalty expires. Now Kelly controls, tries to center. Broken up by Gassoff. Kept in by Kelly. This is Kelly out to the point, but Flager able to break it up. Flager tries to lead LaRose and does. Moves on DuPont. His shot is a stick save by Stevenson. And Murray tries to clear, cannot. Flager with a strong first period, able to keep in. Patey spun around by Murray. Selesky gets to it. Here's Selesky with Kelly. Two Blues are back. Selesky hit from behind, able to get the shot off. Kelly's rebound is wide again. It took a tricky hop off the backboard. Richmond is spun by Affleck, not able to get to it. Bourbonnais back the other way, number 4, Affleck. Selesky goes in after him. Selesky tries to center. Selesky now looks to put on the stick of Kelly, who's bumped from behind by Affleck. A lot of muscle work in front of that net. Now Selesky puts it in front, but it's knocked away. And here's McMillan starting up. McMillan moving on Watson. On a crisscross, drops it off for Bourbonnais. Bourbonnais shot soft and off to the right. Joe Watson now rolls it for Leach. 3:20 remaining, first period. Flyers lead it 2-1. Affleck shoots in, but the Blues ahead of the play and offside. There's a break in the action with the score. The Flyers 2, the Blues 1.
Another game in the National Hockey League tonight in the first period. At the end of the first period, Toronto is leading Buffalo 2-0. Boreas Selming and Pat Boutet have scored for Toronto. And here with 3:20 left in the opening period, Flyers leading the St. Louis Blues 2-1.
3 games tonight in the NHL. In fact, later on, out in Vancouver, the New York Islanders play the Vancouver Canucks. Clark sets up Al Hill, number 37, with the tough check. This time, the cover-up by the goaltender, Yves Belanger.
Belanger's had some problems with the way the puck has been bouncing off the backboards, and that's one of the things that young goaltenders and new goaltenders to the league have to learn. The different rinks around the league. Belanger, of course, played 31 games with St. Louis a year ago, and this is his 3rd year, really.
Joe Watson confusing Belanger with that shot. Here's Leach scoring. It has not been a shot first period for Yves Belanger. Leach with Belanger going the other way, able to put it in the upper right-hand corner. The Flyers lead it 3-1.
Well, you can't leave Reggie Leach uncovered at the side of the net. The rookie Hill went back of the goal, centered it. It came to Leach, who was uncovered and picked the top corner as Belanger was down on the ice. There it is from another angle.
The assist, number 37, Al Hill.
Al Hill, the rookie, gets an assist, as does Joe Watson. The Leach was left unprotected, and with Belanger down, just shot it into the top corner.
Back live off the face at center. Flyers shoot in. Hard check thrown by Hill on Plonk, prompting the roar. Here's Leach again, blocked by the skates of Sealing. Kept in by Jim Watson. His shot knocked down by Unger, but he had the stick over the shoulder as he made contact, so Bruce Hood has whistled it dead. Reggie Leach has now scored 9 goals in his last 10 games. Had the bad start. He now has 23 goals on the season. Hill and Watson assist at the 17-minute mark. There's a break in the action. The score, Flyers 3, St. Louis 1. Off the face-off on the St. Louis end, Berenson able to shoot in to the right of Stevenson. That's Dornhofer checked to the boards by Irvin. Irvin goes down, and DuPont comes away with it. DuPont ahead. Here's McLeish with Dornhofer, the trailer. Gives off to Dornhofer. Dornhofer leads McLeish, and it's just wide. Beautiful pass play, and that shot just off. McLeish again for Lunsbury. Lunsbury, a cross-ice feed played by Murray. His shot deflects wide. And the Flyers continue to put the pressure on. DuPont keeps it in. Sealing ties it up with Lunsbury, and Sealing able to get the face-off.
Well, Rick McLeish now has 16 points in his last 8 games, and he came very close to getting his 35th goal of the year on a pretty pass from Dornhofer. Right to the edge of the crease, and McLeish was there and just directed it wide of the St. Louis goal. McLeish, of course, making a great comeback after missing the latter part of last season, and he's been a big man for the Flyers, particularly in recent weeks.
Kindrachuk and Unger on the face-off. Watson able to keep it in. Flyers continue to forecheck very, very well. And once again on a Monday night, we have a high-scoring hockey game. Flyers up 3-1, a minute and a half remaining in this first period. Al Selesky checked by Plot, able to throw in. Plager, number 5, comes together with Bobber. Plager winds it around. Lefley could not control. Blayton does. His shot blocked. And Affleck clears the zone. Watson is back fourth. Watson being watched by Lefley. Lefley, the 43-goal scorer a year ago. Affleck shoots it on the left wing. The goaltender Stevenson stops it for Blayton. Now Blayton swings it around. Watson is checked by Plot. Minute remaining now in this first period as the Flyers get it all the way down. Here's Plager. The lead is too deep. Watson gets to it and clears the zone once again. Affleck with a stick on it. This is Kindrachuk now. Kindrachuk leads Selesky. Selesky met by McMillan. Tries to cut back the other way, and it's knocked aside. But Selesky recaptures. Throws off the boards for Bobber. And Bobber shoots in. Half minute remaining in the period. That's Bobber, number 7. Bobber is tied up by McMillan. Bobber, number 7. McMillan, number 21. And they hold it up against the boards, so play is stopped. During our first period intermission, Dan Kelly will be talking with Gary Unger of the St. Louis Blues. Gary, as we have mentioned, playing in a milestone 700 consecutive games. We'll run down the National Hockey League standings, take a look at the leading scorers, the leading goalkeepers around the NHL. That is upcoming. We have only 25 seconds remaining in this first period. The Flyers leading it by the score of 3-1. Gasson tries to clear the zone, cannot. Clark tries to lead Leach, cannot. And finally, the Blues get it out. Here's LaRose, number 12, going with Patey. The back pass for Patey does not click. Leach now, number 27, with just 7 seconds remaining. Jim Watson comes back for it. Now Watson throws it ahead. That's Patey as time runs out. And Patey is hit by Daly as this first period concludes. And they are ushered aside by the two linesmen. Nothing serious developing as Patey felt that he took a hard check unnecessarily from defenseman Bob Daly. So, the Philadelphia Flyers, with an explosive first period, lead the St. Louis Blues by the score of 3-1 as you watch the Blues head to the locker room. As I mentioned, Gary Unger will be our Between Periods guest in just a moment, so we'll be back with Between Periods activities right after we pause for station identification.
With a 7